Hey guys. So Disney is known for big thrills and entertainment and experiences to last a lifetime. But did you know that just as much effort is put into the food we consume while we're there? Well, today we are taking a deep, deep dive in Disney food, and that's coming up on Oceaneers Travel Show.
Hello, and welcome to the Oceaneers Travel Show.
Hi.
I'm back again this week.
How are you,
No,
Charles?
I'm back again this week. You can't talk.
Okay.
Yep, flying solo this week. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
That was short. See, you do need me around for everything.
I suppose so, yep.
How's everybody doing? I'm doing good.
It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good.
Oh,
We have entered a new season.
we have. It is officially time for the Christmas theatrics and all that goes along with it.
Yeah, the Halloween stuff's already down. The Christmas stuff is already up.
Yes, it is. We will be out of town the week of Thanksgiving, so I wanted to get a head start on things because,
Not even
I love to enjoy my Christmas stuff.
to Thanksgiving, and yet Christmas is already up.
Christmas is already up. Because honestly,
So what do you get me?
a box of rocks, a lump of coal.
That sounds like normal.
I will make you a pie.
What kind of pie?
Key lime pie.
Oh, not what I was talking about, but okay. We'll move on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So, you guys got anything coming up for the Thanksgiving holiday out there? We will be
Leave us some comments and let us know.
celebrating in Orlando. We wish you and your family the absolute best.
Yes, we will be going to the very Merry Mickey Holiday Super
Yep.
Christmas Duper Spectacular.
Yes, very Merry Christmas party coming up on the 19th.
Yep. They did just launch the Jollywood Nights too, and that's not getting rave reviews from what I'm hearing.
Oh no, I've seen a lot of wah wah wah. Don't we have a sound effect for that? But
Probably.
yeah, I've seen some not so good things. Basically a lot of waiting in line and a lot of ill planning, and apparently
Wait. You mean you got to wait in line at Disney? What the?
I know,
Imagine that.
but I don't know. I mean,
It was very
you
expensive.
expect to wait in some lines, but apparently these lines are just
Absurd.
absurd and not needed.
Gotcha.
There's a line to get your wristbands or lanyards or whatever they're doing over there. And it's it goes from basically where you meet Olaf all the way back into Galaxy's Edge, like the line for this thing. And people are like, before you can ever get started,
You've wasted
gotta
half your
wait
night.
in all these lines. So there was one lady I was looking on TikTok, and she actually got there at 5:15 to get in the park at 7. And thankfully she was able to get everything right as she went in, and she was one of the first people in the park, but she was looking at some of the lines and it was absolutely insane. And there's a Gertie cookie, which the dinosaur that kind of looks over the little lake.
Yeah, I know. I know who that is.
You know who Gertie is?
I do.
There's a Gertie cookie, and apparently the wait for it is it's just absurd.
Yeah, I priced it out for us, and for 5 people, it was like $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000.
That's a little steep.
Yeah, we go Thanksgiving week. We do go to Orlando every year because my extended family is no longer around, and neither is Charles's. So it's just kind of us 3 and my mammy and pappy, and we all just kind of hang out together away from here. And we go out to eat for Thanksgiving and have an amazing time, and usually visit the mouse because we are Disney people.
Well, here lately, we've been, doing a lot of Dollywood as well. So, and we've posted a couple videos about the tasting passes, both the Thanksgiving one and the Christmas one. And that got me thinking, food is a big part of your theme park experience.
It sure is.
Anytime you go,
Well,
whether it's meal or snack or...
yeah, and a lot of planning goes into what you're going to eat at Disney. Are you going to do...
And it's a big part of your
meals?
budget.
Are you going to do, fancy smancy meals? What are you going to do as far as eats? Do you need reservations? And so, yeah, Charles hooked me on to some stuff, and he's like, "Hey, we should talk on a podcast about this." And I was,
Well,
why not?
My thought was, when you go to Dollywood, the food is great, but Disney has really distinguished itself from Dollywoods and Busch Gardens and Universals and really any other theme park in the world as far as just having world-class food. Disney's kind of distinguished itself and made its food just as big of a destination as its other stuff.
Your food immerses you in the experience as well at Disney, which is just crazy to think.
And of all levels, from bottom tier up to 5-star dining and everything in between, Disney has available for you to consume.
They sure do.
And more importantly, for you to purchase.
They sure do.
So we're going to jump into it.
Absolutely. And feel free to, get a hold of us, comment, and tell us, what do you enjoy when you are at Disney?
Absolutely. I've got my favorites.
I know you do. And we've only basically dipped our toe in the water as far as Disney food goes.
Dole Whip? Can we say Dole Whip? Coming soon.
Hallelujah for the Dole Whip.
I'm a big fan of the Dole Whip. Her, not so much. Me, definitely.
I'm just not a big citrusy type person.
Dole Whip's a whole thing onto itself, and I love me some Dole Whip.
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
But I like just either the classic or the pineapple coconut swirl.
Yeah.
So those are the ones to go with.
Coconut necessarily in real life.
I like the flavor.
You don't like the texture.
Yeah, I don't like the texture.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there is a big difference in flavor of coconut and like putting a whole handful of coconut flakes in your mouth.
But I like pineapple juice, but I don't necessarily like pineapple chunks.
Yeah, I understand that. So, it's the flavor.
Yeah, it's the texture more than it is the flavor. But anyway.
Well, just like everything Disney, it began with one man.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go back to Walt. I mean,
Walt had
a vision.
A big vision, and he had so much running around in that little brain of his. And well, it was, large for what it
he was a genius.
What he did, and he's just an amazing man. But Walt had an idea of what he wanted to do. And funny fact, whenever Disneyland opened, he had so much going on that he didn't really have time to develop and get the kitchens and the eateries going.
Yeah, he didn't have the manpower
or the ability, or so when Disneyland opened, it opened without these eatery places open. It opened without the ability to really get food other than a few snacks here and there. And so that was kind of interesting, the fact that that kind of happened, and how everything kind of came to fruition. But he always had an idea of what he wanted.
He knew where he wanted to go. He just wasn't able to get there at the opening of Disneyland.
Yeah, so I believe...
But the vision was still there even then. And that comes from him being a world traveler and being around. And
yeah, Walt Disney loved to travel, and he traveled just pretty much all over the world, and kind of tested out different cultures and different flavors. And although he was a kind of a simple man and a simple eater, from what I've read and everything, he was kind of like your meat and potatoes kind of guy. He wanted a meat, he wanted a potato, and he wanted a vegetable.
You're Midwestern guy.
Yeah. So
kind of like me.
Yeah, Charles likes his meat and potatoes.
I do, clearly.
So he wasn't that adventurous, in the eating, but he knew that it would appeal.
Yeah.
He knew the appeal was there, and if it could be developed correctly, it would be a hit, just like Disneyland ended up being a hit.
Him being a world traveler helped him develop, it's a small world. It also helped him develop menus and different things and things that he wanted to bring to his park.
It did.
So when they first opened, none of this was ready, as you said.
Right.
So they pretty much...
I think they ended up subbing everything out?
Yeah, they hired outside vendors and sponsors to take care of all that.
Take care of the kitchens and the eateries.
But that didn't last long. I mean...
No.
He knew what he wanted.
But he knew he had to have some dining options ready to go in the park.
Yeah, one of the ones I heard was like a tuna burger. I'm serious. They had a tuna burger when it first opened. I don't know. I've never had a tuna burger, so I don't know. Maybe it's delicious.
don't
I like tuna. I never had a tuna burger, but
yeah, not really sure.
maybe that was also a thing. I mean, you got to remember this was what, the 50s and 60s and that time frame. So
I do know that they had like over in Frontierland, they had like fried chicken and had a sponsor over there doing like different things
but still relatively simple
food.
Simple food that obviously he wanted to expand on that. But also one of the things that he wanted right from the get-go was he wanted, I don't know what the right word here is. Is it travel food, walkable food?
Yeah, I think he wanted handhelds. He wanted you to be able to stop for a brief moment, grab something to eat, and be able to walk and continue on your destination within the park, and not have to stop and sit down and rely on something that was really, really messy. So number one for that for him was popcorn. Walt absolutely loved popcorn.
Yeah, that was his favorite treat. And you'll still notice today when you go to a Disney park, usually one of the first
things you'll see.
First vendors you will see.
Popcorn stand. And I mean, they sell over a million boxes of popcorn every year.
That's a lot of popcorn.
A lot of popcorn.
But it's not just, the popcorn, it hits you with that smell too.
Oh yeah. And I don't know what it is, but theme park popcorn just hits different. And I don't care.
I agree.
I mean, it's just like movie theater. I mean, if you go to the movie theater, you got to get some popcorn because it's just different. I mean, I can't pop that at home. Orville Redenbacher's and they don't compare to theme park food. I just don't know what it is.
Well, part of it's the environment, part of it's the smell.
Yeah, it's the nostalgia.
And it's also the way that they make it.
Yeah.
In the old kettles and things like that. So
I know. It just tastes so dang good.
So, really, I mean, at first it was just hot dogs, popcorn, and that type stuff, but it's really advanced.
And churros came along pretty quickly.
Which their churros are way bigger than your regular churro.
Like a 2.5 foot long churro.
I think it's like 14 inches, 16 inches, something like that.
It's a big churro. But now there's different flavors of churros. I think for the holiday season, there's like a hot cocoa dusted churro.
That sounds delicious.
Maybe we'll have to try it Sunday.
And I know that they did churros like in the, I've seen them do them like lightsabers, like blue and red.
But yeah, I think Galaxy's Edge kind of initially, I
don't know if they're still there or not, but I know they had them at one point in time.
Churros and like lightsabers, like the little handheld things. They were really cute.
So an interesting story though about the hot dog. You had an interesting story you was telling me.
Yeah. So whenever they were, I guess, finishing up Disneyland and Walt was there for the last, few bits of design and implementing everything. He was talking about, trash cans. We need trash cans. We need people to be able to dispose of their trash. And they were like, well, Walt, how far apart do you want these trash cans to be? And he was like, okay. So he goes over and he grabs a hot dog. And he just starts walking down the street eating this hot dog. When he got to the point that all that was left was the wrapper, he pointed and said, there, that's where a trash can goes. So it's roughly about every 30 feet, you're going to see a trash can in Disney. It's made to be where, everywhere you go, you're going to be next or near a trash can. And
it works because Disney is some of the cleanest parks I've seen. I never see trash on the ground.
I mean, they have cast members that are, janitorial in nature that walk behind you and pick up everything after you. But you don't really know they're there because they're kind of dressed as, the same as the cast members in the land. So they blend in. Another fun fact about trash cans in Disney World. Did you know Disney and Walt kind of pioneered the swinging door trash can?
I heard that, actually.
Yeah.
Heard he designed it originally.
He did not want guests to have to throw their trash away and see trash. So he wanted to come up with a way that guests could dispose of their trash kind of discreetly. And that's where this swing trash can that you know today kind of came from. So kind of cool.
That is very cool.
And I love
the stories.
The stories. And if you haven't watched, I guess, was it the documentaries kind of on Disney Plus? There's some really cool stories on there.
Behind the scenes type stuff.
But the trash cans are actually themed to the different lands, which is really cool. So if you're in Galaxy's Edge, you're going to see, Star Wars themed cans. If you're in Toy Story,
they want them to blend in.
Yeah, you're going to see it blend in with the theming of the different lands. Excuse me. So that's really cool. I just love the stories because everything about Disney, if you look around, no matter where you are, there's a story. It's like an Easter egg. There's just something behind it.
A lot of history.
A lot of history, a lot of fun facts.
So, and then, of course, my favorite, as I mentioned before, the Dole Whip. Gotta go back to the Dole Whip.
Yeah. Originally, it was just
soft serve ice cream.
Ice cream with pineapple chunks.
Dole pineapples, yeah.
And that just didn't hold up into the heat.
Well, it was fine in California, but when they went to Florida, it wasn't working.
Kind of ended up a mushy mess.
So they went and asked Dole to come up with something, and Dole created Dole Whip.
Yeah, they came up with this flash frozen yummy goodness. So that debuted in 1994 in Walt Disney World in 1984.
You said 94.
No, gosh, I'm a decade ahead.
Way before that.
84 in Disney World and 86 in Disneyland. And of course, Dole Whip has just taken on its own identity because now
there are millions of different kinds.
You can get the original pineapple flavoring, but now you can get coconut and
if you've been
mango and
to Disney World and you've not got Dole Whip, well, what have you been doing with your life?
Oh, and it's so easy to get now, especially with mobile order.
Get Dole Whip. If you haven't tried it, it's a must do. It is it's different than anything else.
Magic Kingdom over next to Magic Carpets, or there's Aloha Isle next to the Tiki Room. That's where you get your Dole Whip. You also can get it at the Polynesian. There's a little kind of cafe tucked in at the Polynesian that does nothing but Dole Whip. You can also get it at other areas of the parks too, but that's the main.
If you've never had it, start with the classic and work your way up.
Yeah.
But, we're talking about hot dogs and popcorn and churros and, turkey legs and these things, are very walkable around foods, but, and then you've got your pastry shops, yeah, you've got your pastry shops and you've got your, cookies and
cinnamon rolls
and everything shaped like Mickey, of course.
Well, that makes you want to buy it even more, I think, when they put it in the shape of a Mickey.
Oh, it's brilliant marketing.
Yeah. I mean,
but they're good too. They are, it's not just the look, they're good.
Yeah. And something just hits different with like a Mickey bar.
Oh yeah, don't even.
I mean, you can't eat a brown cow and have the same experience as you do with a Mickey bar.
No, Mickey bars are fantastic. But Disney's actually advanced even further than this. I mean, they've went past your traditional theme park snacks and stuff like that. I can tell you firsthand, one of the best steaks I've ever had was at a Disney property.
Yeah. I mean, there's some really good.
The Brown Derby has absolutely fantastic food.
They do. We've had very good experiences at the Brown Derby. We've eaten there a couple of times.
The bacon cheddar soup from Le Cellier.
Mm-hmm.
World class. The Food and Wine Festival. I mean, you can go on and on. The food has become such a ingrained part of Disney.
I mean, we make it a point to go to Food and Wine because it is so fantastic. And, some of these things I don't think people understand. Like, everything you see in the Disney park has been carefully crafted. And it may have taken months or even years to come up with the perfect consistency or, just to make everything right. I mean, there's a whole behind the scenes kind of thing going on.
Yeah, the flavor, is it Flavor Lab?
Flavor Lab, I think.
Flavor Lab or Flavor Kitchen, something like that.
Top secret.
It's in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
And they actually are responsible for designing the menus and recipes and everything for all the Disney parks everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And they come up with some incredible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just what was that? I heard a story said Walt was really busy and he didn't have time to sit down and eat a lot. So he would just eat chili right out of a can.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Paris.
Yeah.
They've actually come up with a chili recipe that they serve in a porcelain chili can to honor Walt. Little Easter eggs like that you wouldn't think about, but if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it just stuff like that. Just, I don't know. It gets me.
It's awesome. I mean, how every little bit of the detail that goes into it. From the way that they immerse you into the different atmospheres and the different characters and movies. Just like things that they mention in movies. Like, for example, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. You can go get gray stuff.
Yeah. And nobody knew what that crap was. So they had to create it.
The beignets from Tiana. And I mean, there's just so much that you think about it that you can go find it. It's available.
Well, yeah. And so, they've got I think it's in California. They've got like a 10,000 square foot bakery that employs over 100 people that work 24/7.
Yeah. They actually needed a place. They wanted a place to make like a bakery, like a head place for Disneyland itself. And I think they just took a parking lot and built a warehouse on it. It's like 10,000 square feet. It's open pretty much around the clock, and people are in there baking at all hours because of how big the operation is.
Millions of items a year roll out of this bakery and into
absolutely.
the parks and restaurants and things like that. And same thing in Florida. Millions of, just think about in Florida, especially, you've got 4 theme parks and 20 resorts.
Yeah.
Think of how much food on a daily basis they are rolling in and out of there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the size of the operation and, the different theming, which Disney pretty much created the theme restaurants. They're the ones who pretty much started all that. Nobody had that before them.
Oh, yes. The thematic dining or thematic eating kind of came from Walt himself.
Well, how many locations have they actually built restaurants into part of the rides?
Oh, I know.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
3 Caballeros.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Grand Fiesta Tour.
Yeah. I always call
it's
it
3 Caballeros. Yeah. It's
so there's one at at Epcot, the Garden Grill.
Epcot Garden Grill. Yeah.
Built into the attraction.
Into the land. You've got Be Our Guest. You've got Cinderella's Royal Table. There's so many that you could talk about.
All the way to Chef Mickey's.
220, Woody's Lunchbox. We could go on and on and on. Or the Roundup Rodeo that they've come out with.
The Ant-Man.
The Pim Kitchen.
Pim Kitchen, yeah, where they serve supersized burgers or supersized hot dogs.
Or sliders.
Or little tiny mini.
Yeah.
Depending on if you want to enlarge it or shrink it. They've really done a fantastic job of including food in their theming, and it just really enhances the whole experience.
Yeah, the story of the first one that they came out with was the Blue Bayou, and it's in Disneyland, and it's a part of the Pirates ride. And I remember they brought Walt in, and he had been, testing food there and sitting in there. And the restaurant was ready to go, but Pirates wasn't ready to go yet. And they asked him, they said, do we need to open it now and just, work on the restaurant and keep progressing towards the ride? And he said, no, it'll take away from the general aesthetic of the restaurant. So we need to wait until Pirates is ready to go. And then he never lived to see it.
He passed away before it
never got to see it come to fruition.
Pirates was actually the last ride that he himself worked on in any capacity.
So,
but and then we can get on up, talk about some of the high end dining.
Oh yeah. There's basically something at Disney for any budget. Any budget.
Yeah,
if you've got a budget of $1 million, by golly, there's places that'll take that $1 million.
Well, I've not done this, but I've heard stories about some of these 5-star dining. You want to tell us about some of those?
Well, the one that comes to mind that is the most expensive that I know of, and if there's something else out there,
let me know.
Holla at me, let me know. But Victoria and Albert's. This is over at the Grand Floridian. So you know it has to be nice. You're already in one of the nicer resorts on property. But Victoria and Albert's starting price is $295 per plate, which per person. So that's a prefixed menu. I have heard it is fantastic. It is well worth what you spend. I just don't know if I can swallow that right off. That just sounds like a whole lot of money, but I've known people who have done it that have said they would do it again. There's wine pairings available for like $100 and something bucks a person to pair with your courses. Yeah. And if you want to partake in the chef's table, it's a different prefixed menu, but that price tag will set you back $425 per person.
Yeah, I mean, so that's some high-end dining right there.
So that's a minimum. Which, I mean, if you're going to spend $425, why not splurge for the wine pairing? But you're looking at a $1,200-$1,300 meal.
So, and they have those. I mean, there's high-end places like that in Disney World, but you can or you can grab a pizza.
There's Takume Thai. Is that how I'm saying that? Takuma Tay. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong. It's another place that's like a prefix. It's $250 a person. There is a very vegetarian option that's a little bit cheaper, but everyone says it's delicious. So
one of my favorites, Ohana. It's not terribly. I mean, it's moderate, but it's really good.
They have Ohana dinner, which is basically a family style kind of Brazilian, I guess, kind of thing. It's not exactly like a Brazilian, but they bring out skewers of chicken and shrimp and beef, and they're going to give you pieces, as much as you want or as much as you care to eat. And then on your table, you're going to have noodles and what else did we get with that? There was like a there was all kinds of stuff, but the noodles were delicious. I know that. There's probably other things too, but the noodles is all that's really coming to mind.
So,
but I mean, you're still going to pay $60 a person for that meal, maybe more. I mean,
and that's within my price range. I don't know that $425 is in my price range.
Yeah.
Not saying it's not worth it, just saying it's not in my budget.
Right. And like I said, there's something for every budget. We was talking about the new Roundup Rodeo over in Toy Story Land, and it's like you're eating in Andy's backyard with the toys. And ever so often you'll hear over the intercom, they'll say, "Shh, Andy's coming," and you have to play dead like a toy, like you're a toy, so you can't move. Even the waiters, and even if they're carrying a whole plate of food, they're going to stop. Which is awesome. Nobody moves.
And then, the sci-fi drive-in.
Yeah, I mean, that's immersive. I mean, you're sitting in an old-timey car watching a movie at a drive-in.
But again, it's themed. You're in Hollywood Studios, which is supposed to be
Old Hollywood.
And this just fits in that time frame and fits in that.
It does.
So, I mean, the theming, the quality of food, the variety of food, whether you want chicken nuggets or you want prime rib and filet mignon and lobster, you can find it at a Disney property, and it's going to be top notch. Mm-hmm. So,
I can't say enough good things about Disney food.
Yak and Yeti.
Yak and Yeti. I mean, you're in Asia, over in Animal Kingdom, and you're eating at an Indian themed type place where they've got Asian type offerings.
Yeah, and it's the spring rolls.
Yeah. Oh, delicious.
I'm imagining them in my mind right now, and I need a minute.
He just, I think, had a brain pause because he's over there going.
I actually taste them right now.
They were really delicious.
They're fantastic.
There's just so much to choose from.
And then you got the cruise lines. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's a whole
Remy and Paolo over on the cruise lines, and a lot of people will swear by those places.
And what was the animation one where they actually draw on your plate while you were
Animator's palette.
Animator palette. That's
one of the included dining options on your cruise ship.
That's what I mean. They actually perform on your plate.
Yeah.
They're cooking your meal. You have cartoons on your plate cooking your meal and preparing your meal for you that ends up being on your plate. I mean, it's just fantastic the way that they do this stuff.
Yeah.
So Disney, if you're going to Disney, you're going to be able to find food. All of this stuff is well thought out. It has a lot of history to it.
What are you doing to my poor Christmas tree back here?
I am playing with
fidgeting.
Shh. I'm talking about food here. Focus.
Fidgeting. I'm watching him. He's just like.
I can't take her anywhere.
He's fidgeting. I'm cold, and he's saying over here he's about to burn up. That's another.
Welcome.
Podcast.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother show. Focus.
Ooh. So I'm curious to hear what you guys.
What are your favorites?
Do you dislike Disney food? Have you not been able to accommodate your own taste? I would love to know.
I've never had anything bad. I will tell you that one of the things that I have noticed that is frustrating sometimes is it is difficult to get a reservation in some of these places. Yeah.
We've
been trying to get Sci-Fi Diner reserved for our trip
for 3 months now,
and still haven't been able to get it.
I was late to the game because you can reserve things if you're staying on property a lot sooner than if you aren't. And so we are not staying on property, so I had to wait a little while, and there's nothing available. Now, I have set an alert to let me know if something comes available, but so far that has not come through. I did that also back in September for our Yak and Yeti reservation, and it worked like a charm. I was able to get that, but it has not come through for Sci-Fi. That is kind of what we've wanted to do this trip. And yeah, it just hasn't happened. So we'll see.
But I mean,
hopeful.
You're talking about food too. I mean, we've got the Christmas party coming up, and they've got the cookie crawl thing.
Yeah, they've got treat stations where cookies and drink are included in your price, and as much as you want. So you don't just have to get one and go. You can get several, and they're prepackaged, and they look really good. I think this year there's a frosted gingerbread. There's a chocolate chip.
And a red velvet.
A snickerdoodle, and a sugar cookie.
I wonder where I'm going.
And so, yeah, there's hot cocoa, apple cider, and eggnog available.
I like eggnog.
I don't. But, yeah, there's just something for everyone. I'm telling you.
Cakes, cookies, ice cream, gelato. And pizza, steaks.
About Disney Springs.
Oh yeah, Disney Springs.
Not
amazing collection.
Not necessarily all Disney related, because a lot of chefs have brought their specific restaurants to Disney Springs.
Right, but Disney has curated
some things.
Curated an amazing group of restaurants.
Yes,
in one place.
They're just a wonderful selection.
You can go to Disney Springs and eat at one of a dozen restaurants that are 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
And we've ate at some of these, and they've been that good.
Mm-hmm.
Chef Arts, the Boathouse.
Yeah, even Chicken Guy. I love Chicken Guys.
Chicken Guy's fabulous.
Chicken Guy for chicken tenders, those sauces.
And we have a Chicken Guy here, and it just ain't the same.
It don't hit the same.
Boy, you all about the hitting tonight, aren't you?
I don't know. It just don't hit the same.
She's hitting, just hitting.
Leave me alone.
So, but yeah, from quick service to snacks, sit downs, Disney Cruise Lines.
Disney food does it all.
I mean, in an amazing way. Anything you want, you can find.
Yeah.
There's something for every palate, for every budget.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks.
Let's go eat.
Okay. I don't have anything here that's Disney themed. I may have a Mickey bar.
You do have a Mickey bar.
I have a Mickey bar in the freezer.
But it's not the same.
But yeah, it doesn't hit the same.
Oh my Lord, I'm so tired of this girl right now.
But yeah, I'm curious what's your guys' favorite thing?
That's a good question. Let's end it with that. What is your favorite thing in all Disney parks that you've ever had? What is your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to probably need a minute to think about this.
Well, you got about 30 seconds, so I can't give you a minute, but you got 30 seconds.
Hmm. Golly, the pickle milkshake. No, definitely not.
I was about to turn your mic off if you were being serious.
I don't know. That Kahlua pork slider at the you know what I'm trying to say? The food festival, that place at Epcot.
Yeah.
Those were delicious.
Food and Wine Festival.
But as far as an overall meal,
I didn't say that. I said your absolute favorite item that you have had at any Disney location. From cruising to theme parks to snacks, whatever. Just something that has come from Disney that has been your favorite thing. One item.
oh gosh. Probably the spring roll at Yak and Yeti. So far has been the very best thing that I've had. Followed closely
That's a good choice.
by the
I didn't ask for two.
Kahlua pork slider. It's hard to decide between the two. And I'm sure there's more out there in my brains. It's just not coming to me at the moment.
My absolute favorite that I've ever had, the filet mignon.
At the Brown Derby?
At the Brown Derby.
Filet mignon.
At the Brown Derby.
I will preface that we have had the steaks at Le Cellier and at Brown Derby, and we prefer the Brown Derby.
Le Cellier was good.
Le Cellier was great.
Brown Derby is better.
Brown Derby was just, it hit different.
Or that soul
Filet of sole. Topolino's Terrace
was fabulous as well.
That was going to be like my go-to for my favorite meal that I've ever had as far as meal, atmosphere, just ambiance, the whole 9 yards was probably Topolino's.
So, well, there you go.
Topolino's. Yeah, probably.
So,
it's so nice. It's at the top of the Riviera. You can go out and basically see the entirety of the Disney World property.
And it just hits different.
It's different.
You said that like 12 times.
I did. We should put a counter up on the screen.
I think I'm going to.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it. That's all we got for this week. Just wanted to give you a brief rundown of all the different Disney foods from around the world.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure if you get into Tokyo Disney and Shanghai, it's very different.
Oh, yes. I mean, you have to do everything that's kind of geared towards that specific culture.
That audience.
But I would say they would have some stuff that's more Americanized that seems very foreign to them, but to us, it's home.
Correct.
So it'd be interesting to see when we make it over there.
Well, we'll be there next week. I'm looking forward to having some new
adventures
and some new foods and some new things to try.
Yeah.
And we will report back on that very soon.
Guys, it's been wonderful. I hope you and your family have a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday.
Okay.
Yeah. Until next time, guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and find us where all of your podcasts are listened to because it hits different.
All right. I'm done with her. Goodbye.
See you later, guys.